Hey, it's Biddy Penny, and I'm back with a craft fair idea. These are mini albums that are made with 6x6 paper. It's a great way to bust some paper pads, and these are the ones I'm going to be working with here today. This video is not really a step-by-step tutorial, okay? Michelle at Pink Strawberries came up with this. She has a fabulous tutorial already on her channel for it, so I'm going to leave it linked down below. So go to her channel and get the really great step-by-step tutorial. What I'm doing here today is kind of sharing and expanding upon her ideas with some mass making tips and tricks in mind. The first one here is that I'm using a Mente paper pad. You need like 6 pages of a 6x6 paper pad. And this one didn't have 6 different pages that I wanted to use. So I grabbed 4 pages from my Mente pad and I grabbed 2 from Prima and just made it work. Now this is so simple, you guys. All it takes is scoring everything at 1/2 inch. No lie. That's the extent. You don't have a lot of cutting to do or measurements. That's it. You're just gluing. You're just folding and gluing. Folding and gluing. See, I'm putting my pages together just like this. It is so easy and fun and fast. Holy cow, guys. Like on your first one, it might take you 20 minutes to make one of these. Might. But after you get the hang of it, I can make one of these in 10 minutes flat, easy. So it's a great craft fair thing because you won't have a ton of time invested in these little albums. I'm going to sell them for something between $7 to $10. I'm going to have one made up at the fair so they can see what it looks like. And I'm going to show you at the end of the month how many of these little suckers I made. They are so much fun. So already I have my first 2 done. Now I did a variation and I may come back and show y'all how I did this one later. This one's actually 6x6. Michelle's come out to like 5.5x6. This was an extra piece of Mente paper that I cut to 2x6. And these are going to be some side pockets for me. And then this last one I'll end up trimming down to make it a pocket. These are the side pockets. So to make it like a bottom pocket. So I'm putting these on the last 2 pages of the album. These little albums are fantastic. Like if you have a weekend getaway with your honey and you want to document it and do a little memory keeping, this would be the perfect book. Cheerleading camp, if you've got beautiful grandkids you want to brag about, you could make one of these. It's just fun and it makes memory keeping very manageable in my opinion. Okay, so I'm bringing in some vellum because, you know, the amount of paper that I have in this paper pack that's very different is minimal. So I chose to bring in other papers, like I brought in vellum. You could bring in solid color cardstock. I brought in a whole different paper pad to add pages to this album. So you're not limited or stuck. Maybe you only have a few pages left of a paper pad that you want to smash. You can bring in additional items to make it complete. And that's one of the things we're going to focus on here today. We're also, you'll notice that this album is double-sided papers and pages, and it's beautiful. But I'm going to do a whole album here with you in this video where I'm using single-sided paper. So hold on for that. First, this is a printable from Tsunami Rose, and it's a black and white, and I printed it on ivory paper. So one of my first hacks is fast and simple, especially because this is for a craft fair. I am going to make all of my journaling cards and tags and like pocket fillers from this one sheet of paper. Just cutting it up, making a quick tag. I brought in some hole reinforcers from the Dollar Tree that I like to color up with. I distress them with ink and make them different colors. I just brought in my corner rounder and rounded some corners. This paper pad did have cut-aparts, but it doesn't have ephemera. So I wanted to show y'all how you can make these albums even if you don't have the ephemera to go with them. Maybe you just have the paper pads. Believe me, I've got a craft room like that. I understand. So you don't have to have matching ephemera to be able to pull off one of these albums. You don't even have to have the cut-aparts. I'm going to show you even more. That's why this video exists. So here I used a cut-apart on my belly band. I'm going to use them just in different places to help further decorate this album. I'm trimming paper down. I'm not measuring anything. Can you tell? I'm just like, oh, well, it'll fit in that pocket. Great, we'll put it there. Or I'll trim it down a little and then it'll fit in the pocket. And I really think that the corner rounder really just makes things look more complete. It makes it look intentional. It's not like I just grabbed a sheet of paper and cut a scrap off and put it in your journal. Even though that's what we're doing here. So this one I folded into like a little book, and little books are fun. You can put them over belly bands like this, but I put this one, I just tucked it in the pocket. You can put them over pages. It's just fun. Have a little pamphlet fold item. So that's that one. Now, maybe you don't have a printer and you don't have printables. So grab your stamps. Are you a stamper? Grab your stamps and let's make a collage sheet that goes with your paper pad. So at first I'm using black ink here and getting some just very basic images down. They're writing, one of them has flowers. And I'm going to start building a stamped collage page here. And all the colors I'm choosing are from this paper. So I pulled my inks out and I picked the 3 colors I thought went best, which for me was Uncharted Mariner, this is Tattered Rose, and then I have Rusty Hinge. So I'm bringing in my stamping foam so I can get good impressions. And I'm just stamping everything out. I do like to leave my ink blocks down for a bit because you get the best transfer of ink that way. I'm bringing in speckled egg and more stamps from my stash and just kind of stamping all around, making sure everything's kind of connected and anchored to each other. And it goes with the theme of the mini album that I'm making this stuff for. So I had some big spaces left and I brought in this big bird. I just really wanted a bird because there's a lot of birds and feathers in the paper designs. So I knew this would be tricky, which is another reason I wanted to do it. When you have like a pictorial image of like a critter or something, and especially when it's big like this and you're working in collage, it can be a little tricky. You go to cut it down and you accidentally, have to cut somebody's head off. It's not flattering. I understand. So I'm going to show you how to fix it. So there's my stamped page. I love it. I think it's fantastic. I'm not going to measure. I'm just going to kind of trim this down randomly into different tags and journaling sizes. And yeah, I'm going to cut a bird's head off and I'm really sorry about it, but good thing he's made of paper. And we're going to use it anyways, right? We're going to make it work. So this one lost his beak and that's okay. We're going to just cover that up with one of the cut-aparts. And that alone just doesn't do it for me. But if I bring in a book page and I start to layer it, because you know me, then I'm feeling better about this. It's going to cover more of the image, and then you still get to see plenty of the stamped background, but we're really building now a focal point here. And I brought in scrap vellum and this beautiful foiled sticker sheet, and suddenly we have a really pretty journaling spot for someone. I did go ahead and round the edges and tucked it in the pocket, and it looks like it belongs. It's just beautiful. Now this one we had just the bottom part of the bird, poor guy, That's okay. We're just going to cover them up and no one's ever going to know the difference. I'm going to cover it up with some book page there. We will hole punch it, add some reinforcers, and we have a tag. Lovely. It'll fit somewhere. Like I said, I didn't really measure it. Okay, let's move on to single-sided paper. So here's one I put together without decorating, and that's what it looked like. This one we're going to decorate as we go and build the album. So the first thing I'm going to do is put my pages in the order I wanted them, and then I'm going in and ink blending all of the white edges. You could also ink blend on the pattern side if you wanted to, but I only did that for like a page or two. So I'm ink blending around all of the edges. Then I scored my paper. And then I had all of this fabulous ephemera left over from making a bunch of Christmas junk journals from Tsunami Rose. So that's where all these came from, except for the recipe cards. And I'm going to use them. And I'm going to pull from my stash. That Hey Santa and that Stampin' Up! Paper or stamps are the only ones I used. They were all I needed. And I, again, grabbed coordinating colors for my cardstock. And then I just started picking all of the stamps off that I knew I wanted. And I put them all on blocks. I have enough blocks that I can do this, and this makes mask making so much faster. If you're just getting started and you think you're going to be stamping a lot, or you know that you're going to be stamping a lot, invest in blocks. Maybe buy a block here and a block there when you place an order, especially if you want to mass produce, because they do come in handy. So I'm going to stamp up some images. I had tried that gold ink and I think it might be dry. It just didn't come out. That's okay. I just did it in the evergreen bow. I love that color so much. That's one of my favorite greens from Tim Holtz, is the evergreen bow. So I stamped things up. I brought in this ephemera. I ink blended around it and distressed it. And I just think it looks perfect with that paper. You guys are going to see that single-sided paper might be the way to go, because it gives your eye like a relaxation point, almost like when you get it decorated. Having that little bit of white actually turns out really beautiful. So I put in this big bingo card for this page and it was done, and I made it a pocket. And then I'm going to add another page, and you can see how quickly this comes together. Of course, this is sped up, but it really does come together quickly. You can fold your pattern paper over onto the white paper and glue it down to make a pocket, and that instantly takes care of some white space. I brought in solid colored cardstock, and I created pockets and belly bands. So that's another way to break up this white page. And then I used my stamps and embellished it even more. Aren't those ornaments so cute? I just love them. And then I stamped on the pocket. You could use stickers, ephemera, whatever you have. I'm tucking in a Christmas shopping list. Then I'm going to add another page. These really are so much fun, you guys. And another page, and I'm just deciding to go ahead and get it put together. You do want to make sure your spines are real nice and straight, so when you're adding your pages each time, be checking that spine and make sure that you're lining things up nice and straight, because they can get a little wonky. And then I always make sure all my pages are straight too as I'm gluing it down. Of course, I've made more tags, and then here I'm distressing these hole reinforcers. I just buy the white ones, and then I can make them any color that I want. And then on this one, more of this kind of ephemera is going to go on this page, but first a belly band. I think this snowman is so precious. And then I gave it a little bow Just super cute. And then I got black ink on it when I went to glue it on my page right here, which is okay because I just stamped a star over it and it worked out. And then I'm going to put another one of these on the back, and I'm going to do the same thing I did before, and I'm just going to put 4 boughs of greenery around the edges and glue this down. Once you get a pattern going for mass making, you can just keep doing the same thing over and over. People aren't going to notice or care. So you don't have to keep reinventing the wheel every time you go to decorate one of these. Find a pattern you like that you think looks good and keep doing that as you're making and mass producing these little albums. That one had a boo-boo. We had to fix it with some washi tape. No one will ever know. This pocket was a little fat, and so I added more ephemera to it. And then I used paper clips. Paper clips are a great temporary way to tack some things down, and people can move it around. So here is my little album we just did together, and I love it. I love it so much. I think these are going to be a big hit at my next craft fair. I hope that you'll make some up for yourself, for your friends as gifts, or if you're doing a craft fair yourself. Here are the other 2. You guys, my goal is to make 20 of these, and if you come back at the end of the month, you'll see everything that I made because I'll have a video recapping my crafty goals. Make sure you're following the hashtag crafty goals to see what everyone is making. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it gave you lots of inspiration and ideas for making many albums. Mine is a little different. The binding's the same, but the front and back cover are just attached differently, which makes the album slightly different. Definitely go over and check out Michelle at Pink Strawberries and enjoy getting crafty, you guys. These are super fun. Thanks so much for watching my channel. I really appreciate you guys so very, very much. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. See you next time. Bye.